What next for President Uhuru Kenyatta after the humiliating defeat in Juja constituency by Moses Kuria? And how do you even explain to anybody that a sitting president has been defeated by his own member of parliament in his own county through a political party whose officials are not even known? Or is there anybody on this platform who can tell me the chairperson, the secretary general, the treasurer of the People's Empowerment Party? Is there anybody? That political outfit, apart from Moses Kuria, I don't know the other officials. And I'm certain over 80% of the people on this platform or watching this video do not know any members of that party. But the president has been defeated using that party not once, but severally through by-elections. So in this video today, I want us to look at what next for President Uhuru Kenyatta after the defeat in Juja. And I want to assure you one thing. If Uhuru Kenyatta is not going to be careful, then in the next few weeks, let me just be precise, after the Kiamba parliamentary by-election, he's likely to be turned into a lame duck president, which means the president must now win Kiamba parliamentary by-election. If he's going to lose that, he's not going to control anything. The president is not going to control his own succession politics at the national level. He's also not going to control his succession politics in the larger Mount Kenya region and even in his own constituency, which is Gatundu South. But before we do all those, if you're watching this channel for the first time, I want you to take a second or two and click the subscribe button so that next time we produce a video like this, YouTube will automatically notify you. Now let us get back to business, and I want to be very brief. The president has been humiliated. What do you think are some of the options, or what should the president do to change the situation? We have Kiamba by-election upcoming. What should he do? Because this win by Moses Kuria has actually given them the momentum to face Kiamba by-election. In my considered opinion, the president can do the following. Number one, he must use Kiamba constituency by-election to reinvent himself. He doesn't have any option. I don't know how he's going to do this, because those he's entrusted with delivering for him are failures. But he must do everything possible to win Kiamba. It is now clear that the Kiambu governor has issues with the locals there. So that guy cannot lead that campaign. The president must look for someone else to lead that campaign. If he can't find someone, the president must take charge of that campaign. He must go and explain to the people of Kiamba constituency that he's been embarrassed in Juja. So please don't embarrass me again. Without that, the president is going to be turned into a lame duck president by his own people. And who will respect a president who cannot win 2 consecutive seats in his own county? Will he even have a say? Will the likes of David Murathe be listened to in this country if the president is going to lose again? So the first thing the president must figure out how he's going to reinvent himself in Kiambu. And I have this advice to give him. The first strategy he can use in Kiambu is to avoid the use of public resources. Not even public resources, let me just put it bluntly. The use of state machinery. If they will start intimidating the other opponents, they make him popular. I am sure if these guys had not intimidated the PEP candidate in Georgia, he would not have reached the point he reached. People tend to sympathize with those who are weak. Probably that guy, because he's not even educated, I'm told he doesn't even have Form 4 certificate, even 8. But the truth is, people started sympathizing with him that the state machinery were on him. So the first thing he must do is avoid that. Number 2, he must also replace the team which campaigned for him in Juja. He must go to Kiamba, get the right people who people listen to the needs of the people there, and try to solve those needs. And he must also come up with a strategy of mobilizing people. In Juja, the turnout was almost 20% because the Moses Kuria's candidate got around 12,000. The last election, Juja had 114,000 registered voters. So it means if the president and his team can identify at least 30,000 people in Kiambaa, people they can control, then they will be home and dry. So the first thing is to reinvent in Kiambaa. Number two, President Uhuru Kenyatta must fire his advisors or strategists. The truth of the matter is that once he was in power, President Uhuru Kenyatta's advisors turned themselves into business associates. So they are more concerned with their own businesses. They are no longer concerned with politics. So they're cheating the president.
Rais wangu kwa kukupenda, and you know you are my good friend. Na kama pengine kwa siasa tunaenda utafauti kwa maoni, sio kwako, lakini ni kwa wale wanaokuzunguka. Na ninakuomba rais, it's high time for 1 year uweze kusimama wewe mwenyewe without those brokers surrounding you, because you can make change. You can bring this country together. You can make sure that tumeweza kukua pamoja pahali tulikuwa kutoka 2013. You can do it. And also I beg you, kama kuna shida ambayo tunaona inatusumbua kwa sasa ni mambo ya kisiasa. Na mambo ya kisiasa inatusumbua ni kwa sababu ya brokers kama Murathe na wengine. Na nitataja wengine baadaye. Wale wanakuzunguka na ni wezi na wanafanya mambo mbaya sana.
So the president must fire them. I want to ask you a question. Ever since Juja results were announced, have you heard from David Murathe? Have you heard from Mutai Ngunyi? Mutai Ngunyi was very vocal. Have you heard from him? Have you heard from some of his key advisors? The president must now start listening to those who are advising him and cannot reach him. He must figure out the best strategy and the best team which can deliver. The current one must be fired immediately. They cannot be expected to deliver any seat. In Rurii, there was a by-election also in some ward in Nyandarua. The governor was there, cabinet secretary was there, still they were defeated. So it means these people are no longer serving the best interest of the president. I mean, there's nothing, I'm sure, even if the people of Juja or even the people of Kiambaa don't like President Uhuru Kenyatta, but it's their son, they can appeal. There's a way you can appeal to the emotions.
Ya kwanza, ningeomba rais wetu Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta. Tunampenda, ni mtoto wetu, ni rais wa Kenya, Jamhuri ya Kenya. Na alichaguliwa na wananchi kwa mapenzi makubwa kumweka pahali ameweka. Alipoenda Hague, Kenyans, churches walimuombea sana na tunamshukuru. Na ningependa kusema kiwazi, rais wetu wa Jamhuri ya Kenya, tunakupenda sana. Hata kama kuna mambo ambaye haijaenda pengine na matarajio fulani, kazi mkiwa kwa Jubilee na deputy president umefanya kazi.
Of the people, even Raila Odinga, sometimes people vote for some candidates here in Nyanza, not because they love those candidates, but because they don't want to embarrass Baba. Why are these people subjecting the president to embarrassment? The strategists, they believe in power and then they don't even use that power. In Juja, they tried to correct the figures at the end of the elections. That was unnecessary. Some of these things you fix before the elections. So Uhuru should take time, fire his advisors. The third strategy, which has worked for Raila Odinga so well, is that, and I think the president is a bit late, he must start working on checkmate strategy. What do I mean? In each and every constituency where there are rebellion, there's always that guy who is popular and opposed to the sitting member of parliament, or even the sitting governor, or even the sitting senator. So there are plans. I'm outside. I wanted to try outdoor today, and I'll want to hear from you guys the experience. So we're saying Raila Odinga has employed the strategy of checkmating opponents. The moment you start becoming rebellious, then a checkmate is created. For example, if I just want to count for you 3 or 4 guys who are giving the president a problem. There's Ndindi Nyoro. Is there someone the president has put on the ground to checkmate him? So that if he goes to Western to campaign there, the guy is holding a rambe on the ground with the support of the deep state. Moses Kuria, is there someone on the ground to checkmate him? Alice Wahome, is there someone to checkmate him? Or are they just allowed to roam around making noise? So the president must look for a strategy of checkmating. This is how Raila Odinga has used it. In Mombasa, for example, today, if Joho starts bringing problems, then you'll see Raila Odinga going to Shebal. And Shebal will start coming up. So Joho will not do whatever he's trying to do. If Kingi is trying to bring problems in Kilifi, then Raila Odinga will meet with Gideon Mungaro, and you'll see Gideon Mungaro start rising. Then Kingi will toe the line. If, for example, someone here is like in Migori, let me just give you an example. If Obado is raising issues, then someone is likely to be propelled. Like currently, Ochila Yako is being positioned for the governorship. So which means even if Obado is making noise, then at the back of his mind, he knows that there is someone. So if I make a mistake, there is someone who is being groomed to take over. So that's how Raila Odinga has managed to checkmate. Even if you go to Western, that's how he has been doing it. The truth of the matter is that the president has failed in checkmating. Number 4, the president must go back to the ground and address the issues which some of these people are raising. You know, the people of Kiambu or the Kikuyu nation are not mad to be mad with the president. It means there's something which the president ought to have done, but is not doing. Or there's something which the president is doing which is not correct, but the president is not able to see because he's in power. So he must go back to the ground, he must send his team. And the advantage the president has is that he has state machinery. And he can use those state machineries to actually get the right information. He can use the intelligence unless he has decided not to be using the intelligence. But in my considered opinion, intelligence system is one of the things at President Uhuru Kenyatta's disposal which he can use to try and solve some of these issues. He needs to go to the ground. If you talk, because I've been listening to the issues being raised against the president in the larger Mount Kenya region, they're saying that the president is not accessible, the president they can't find. So Ruto has been solving the problem. So if Ndindi Nyoro cannot reach the president, then he's able to reach Ruto. And because he's reaching Ruto all the times he has a problem, then that friendship develops. Uhuru Kenyatta, for you to reach him, is very difficult. Even Moses Kuria is complaining. How do you explain a situation where a member of parliament representing the president in parliament cannot reach him? How do you explain that? And what about the ordinary person there? So the president must sort these issues. He must go to the ground. He must work very closely with the MCS. In fact, in Kiamba, the best people to deliver this seat to the president are the Kiambu MCS. He must reach out to them. The aspirants, the sitting MCS, these guys are the people who are on the ground with the people. So he needs to listen to them. Then they are tasked with the campaigning, and the president will just be okay. Number 5 is he must reconsider the Building Bridges initiative. Is BBI popular? Or is it possible that the people of the larger Mount Kenya region don't want anything to do with the BBI? They are rebelling against it. If that's the truth, then why is he insisting on the Building Bridges initiative process? Is it possible that these guys are rebelling against the handshake? If they're rebelling against the handshake, then it means President Uhuru Kenyatta should reconsider even that handshake. But again, maybe he means well for the people, and therefore the BBI and the handshake are good for him. So probably he's not looking into now, he's looking into the future, so that people will remember that indeed President Uhuru Kenyatta told us to do this, but we refused. And lastly, he can decide to ignore the larger Mount Kenya region completely. He can now decide to focus his attention in Nyanza, focus his attention at the coast, focus his attention in central Kenya, in Western Kenya. Because let's face it, the president has focused most of his development projects since he took over in central Kenya and the larger Mount Kenya region. If those guys are not seeing, they are not appreciating, then he needs to take those development projects to regions where they'll be appreciated. I don't know what you think. And that's my take for today. Thank you guys, and may you guys have a good day. You can have a good view of Kisumu town. Let me just show you. Yeah, so that's a very nice view of Kisumu town.